Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Salado Group Podcast, and I am Mallory Anthony.
And I am Becky Chutkin.
And today we're going to talk about a few topics. One being how we got started. We're going to talk about things that we absolutely would not skip if we were buying a home. And 3, new construction versus existing resale. Yeah. So, Becky, do you want to talk about the story of how we got started?
Sure. Well,
Just it all have most to deal with it. I was kind of on the back end.
yeah. Well, I've been with Remax for a little over 7 years, and I think going into it, the second year I was there, I started going into Chris and say, "We need an office in Salado."
Our broker,
Chris and Salado. Yes, our broker, Chris. We need an office in Salado. So every year, about January timeframe, he always knew I was going to come in and say, "When are we going to get an office in Salado?" He lives here, I live here. Made sense. Growth is astronomical here.
And projected to come.
Yeah, it's just constant. We're missing the boat. There are other agencies here. I marketed here. So it was...
There was a Remax office here that...
Yep, there was a Remax office here. So that was always... Well, there was already a Remax office. So anyway, they just kept going, and they left, and I said, now it's our time. So I got proactive, and I started looking around for places to rent, and found this, and so we went back and forth, and next thing I knew, he said, "Okay, you have to have a team." And wasn't really crazy about that, but I thought, well, if we can have an office in Salado, I'll do just about anything. So here we are. Yep. We are a team. The team is 2 or more. So our office is small. All we can do is accommodate 2. We do have a table. Someone can come in and work if they need to. But we just kept it at 2 because we think alike most of the time.
Obviously, look at our outfits.
What we have.
We didn't plan that. You walked in and I was like,
so that's just, how it got started. And we've done lots and lots of things. We had open house. We had ribbon cutting, joining the chamber. We've had a craft night. We've had, did the Salado stroll, the parade, not the stroll. So this year will be our first year. October 1st we'll be here a year. So it's time to get on the ball and do a few other things and get a little bit more involved.
But we've really done a lot in a year.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like a whole year at all. It doesn't feel like it's been a year.
Yeah. So the main thing is you got to get out. You get out in the village, which we are a village. You just got to get out and let yourself be known. The more people see your faces, the more they know who you are. We started doing videos, but it's just gotten so hot and life got busy. So, we just been concentrating on work.
They'll come back
and stuff. We're going to start back. We've got a few things planned for the fall. So we're excited, and people know who we are now. And we go into town, into the village, they all, "Oh, we know who you guys are." And I worked here before and I live here. So I'm out in the public a lot anyway.
So pivoting a little bit, our next topic, what are things that you would never skip when you buy a house?
The most important is to not skip on a home inspection.
Even if it's new construction.
Even if it's $50,000, like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because that is the book of your house. It tells you every little inch of what's going on in your house, whether it's a cracked receptacle plate, whether it's a hairline crack in the tile, a snag in the rug, whatever. Everything is covered in there. You can pull that out at any time and go, this is what's wrong with my house on that day.
Well, and it kind of gives you a checklist too.
Yeah.
Of things, little weekend projects. Sometimes it's not all major things.
No.
But it's just good to know what you're buying because it is a lot of money.
It's the best money you can spend when you're buying a house.
Well, and it's well worth it. And I think a lot of people skip home inspections when they do new construction because they think, oh, it's new. And they get inspection with the company. They're not third party, or the city's not like, they're looking for certain things when they come out, but you need a third party, someone that is not involved in the transaction, is not representing a builder, that can look out and say, hey, this is a concern. And a lot of times, I don't know about you, but a lot of times the builders around here just say, give me the inspection, and they use it as a checklist and just fix it.
Just be wary if you're building a house, and one of the first things you need to ask is, will you allow a third-party inspection to take place? If they say no, we do our own, that's a red flag.
Red flag.
You've got to have it done.
Due diligence is everything.
Yep.
When you're buying a house.
Yeah, and the other thing is, use a real estate agent.
A realtor.
Our realtor. Yeah. A lot of people think if they don't use a realtor, they're going to get a better deal. That's not always the case.
No.
New builds now, they have it budgeted in, and it doesn't even come off from anything that you do with a house. They have a fund specifically for that. So you need representation, and if you don't use a realtor, then you are not represented, because that builder works for himself. He represents himself. His fiduciary duty is to himself, and it is not to you.
Yeah, and that finding a realtor that like and trust, that actually get your back on the new construction. One thing that I would say is, if you are buying, like, one of the things I would never skip, if you are buying a mobile home, a house with a pool, any sort of kind of weird, like not traditional, not weird as in bad, but weird as in not a traditional, house with 4 walls. And heck, even with a house with 4 walls, during your auction period, during your due diligence period, get with your local, or get with your insurance agent and just say, hey, I'm thinking about purchasing this house. Can you run a report on it? They're going to run a report and see if there was any claims that were made that maybe the sellers didn't put on the seller's disclosure. And then also, they're going to give you a quote. And sometimes that quote can be crazy. It can make or break your budget. And you would hate to get to the end of the road where you're about to close in 2 days and you find out that your home insurance is going to break you. That's not a good situation to be in. Just
the one thing that can really jack up your insurance or cause you not to get insurance is the roof. And we went through a number of years where we had storms, and it seems like everyone's roofs were replaced and then replaced again probably 2 or 3 months later because we got another storm. But there's a lot of people that put in a claim for a roof and they get the money and they never have it done. That shows that on those reports. So just call them, talk to them, have them run it, because you'll have an inspection done. They'll go on that roof and they'll see that it had not been done. And just because a home inspector tells you that the roof needs work, get a roofer. Yeah, get a roofer up there. We all have roofers in our back pocket that we have used, trust
on our own houses.
Yep. And get with them. They'll go out, they'll do an inspection for free, most of them, and just have them take a look at it and sometimes at different times of the day. Just what's different in the morning versus late afternoon.
Yeah. Agreed. I think those are kind of the big things that I think the rest of them are kind of common sense, right? But those are kind of ones that, unless you're working with an experienced agent, an experienced realtor, you're not gonna know. Ever since we made that podcast, the last podcast talking about that, you said you heard it so much.
Oh, every day. I'm like, oh, I'm like nails on a chalkboard.
Well, and both of us too, have also seen more golf carts being crazy. What was the golf cart that you saw the other day?
Going right down the sidewalk, just tooling along.
Watch out.
Just start laughing.
Yeah, just watch out. They're listening. Sorry, golf cart community. But you sometimes are crazy. Next is kind of a very relevant topic right now, especially as we're in a buyer's market here in Central Texas. New construction versus resale. I want to preface, there's no right answer. There's no this is better than this, but there can be situations where one does outweigh the other
Or
situation.
if you're tight on cash, or you're only going to be here 3 years, the new construction homes, the builders are offering huge incentives. They pay closing costs, survey, title policy.
Your firstborn's wedding.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, they're doing it all.
A new kid.
Interest rates are lower. I've had some that have loved the house, and they just walked away and went to a new build because it was more beneficial, even though it probably wasn't something that they really liked, or what they had wanted, but it made sense to them and it fit their monthly payment, and no one wants to be house poor.
No.
So
No. Well, and I think that there's like what I'm seeing a lot with my buyers that this is their first time buying a home. They are going the new construction route just because, you've saved money to buy a house, but doesn't mean you have to spend it. And it seems real nice to save that money and be able to buy furniture for your new house, or, moving expenses, all of that. There is some nice parts to new construction. Not to say that sellers right now aren't offering crazy amount of things too, just because we, working the resale side of things, my sellers, we can't compete with new construction.
Oh, you can't. And we're constantly telling,
But we try.
the people, the reps that, you're killing us.
Yeah.
You're killing us.
We just like to beat them.
So there's just,
Beat them with a stick.
yeah, or do we ever? It's just tough out there. It's tough out there for all of us, all of them. And sometimes new construction, they have their own bank of lenders. So you can get pre-approved with a great lender, get a good rate. But in order to buy that new build, you've got to use one of their lenders. And a lot of them are just, they're all the same. They only have so many floor plans that they.
Yep.
So to buy a new build versus a resales tend to have a little more character. They've gotten the bugs out of them.
Well, and if trees are a big deal for you, or lot size, those two things are hard to find. Not impossible, but hard to find, and you're going to pay a premium for them. In the new construction, it's easier to find larger lot sizes, mature trees in a resale situation. And if you're looking for, Becky knows, I love a 70s ranch style home. I love cutout, like built-in cutout. I love built-in, and they don't build like that anymore, but they don't.
No, they don't.
And if that's something that, if you're a DIYer, if you like to do flips, if you like to make it your own, then resale is a way to go too. And sellers are, I just had one where the seller paid $14,000 in concessions, and part of that was to pay for the buyer's down payment, and a buy down rate, so they could buy down their rate to get it, a little bit better and save some money.
But it's, it's
strategy right now. Strategy is everything. And I think that, kind of going off topic, I think that's kind of how we're establishing experienced agents and not experienced agents right now in this market too is because it's tough out there. We got to be creative. It's doable. But if you are a buyer or you are thinking about buying for the first time, now is an excellent time to buy because you have so much inventory. Even if you want to do resale or if you want to do new construction, you're not sure. It is open. It is so many options out there for you.
And new construction, everything's new.
Mm-hmm.
Resale, you have to worry about the roof, the HVAC, the plumbing, the water heater,
Foundation,
all that stuff. So if you keep it up, then everything should be fine.
I would think new construction, like if you have little ones at home, sometimes new construction is great because you don't have to. You got to worry about raising your little ones and putting food on the table and going to work and all that. You don't want to worry about,
Right.
Your AC having issues. So sometimes there's just different also life, periods of your life that work better for certain situations.
Yep, exactly. So you make the choice. Just get a hold of a realtor and let them show you what's up there.
Yeah. And we're here to help you if you are looking. Yes, we're in Salado, but we don't just stay in Salado.
No.
We serve all of Central Texas. So if there's a way that we can help you move to Salado, or even if you're local and you are thinking about upgrading, downgrading, downsizing, whatever, downgrading, let us know. We're here to help you. Thanks so much for watching. And if there's something that we need to cover for next podcast, let us know.
We would love to help.
Yes. And it will almost be 1 year
the next time we do one.
Mm-hmm.
1 year. Wow.
Boom. Thanks for watching.
Bye.